Match day 10, and it's happened again. Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored the only goal at the London Stadium as Everton beat West Ham 1-0. And things just go from bad to worse for West Ham at the moment. Let's start with the starting lineup. Look, David Moyes made some big decisions in this game. He dropped Thomas Souček, which not a lot of people was expecting, to bring in Kudus into the starting lineup. Something that we've wanted to see for a long time. Obviously, Aaron Cresswell coming for the suspended Emerson, which was a big loss. Nothing against Aaron Cresswell. I don't think he done too bad, but it showed how much we missed Emerson down that left. So let's get into the game. First 20 minutes, I didn't think we was that bad. I'll be honest, we was knocking the ball about. We looked up for it. But yeah, I mean, a lot of players are starting to let us down. Look, David Moyes, he does deserve criticism. But yesterday, I think he got the starting lineup spot on. Even though I was calling for Antonio to be dropped last week, I thought this was the type of game that would suit Antonio. And another poor Antonio performance. Didn't offer much. Had a chance in the first 15, 20 minutes where Kudus knocked the ball into him. And when Antonio's got time to think, he doesn't do anything. So I'm lost for words really with Antonio at the moment. And I really want him to do well. And as I said, I think that he might need dropping. But then who's going to come in? Unless we change the system, unless you want to put Bowen up top, which I don't think will work. I think that there's going to have to be a complete change of system, or we're just going to have to rely on Antonio and hope that he does find a bit of form. But look, Bowen, Kudus and Paqueta, you know, what we wanted to see, Alvarez and Ward-Prowse in midfield. Look, Ward-Prowse started the season flying, you know, assists, few goals. But the last few weeks, he just hasn't looked himself. You know, he's playing that deeper role, which don't suit him. In them first few games when he was playing, he was on form, he had the freedom in that midfield. He had Alvarez and Souček in there doing the dirty work, allowing Ward-Prowse to float around that midfield and find the space to play the balls into Bowen, Antonio, Paqueta, you know. But at the moment, it's just not working. Another player, Paqueta, I said last week, genius, magician. You know, once again, another game where it ain't going his way. He's throwing a little bit of a strop, and you can't do that. As I said, he loves doing all the little tricks and flicks, and when the crowd are on, he's giving him the round of applause and chanting his name. He loves it, but he can't switch off. There was a couple of times yesterday where he switched off and he allowed Everton to break, to get chances. Harrison, Decore, Onana. You know, he's allowing players like that the freedom, and you just can't do that. And when I look at the form lately of the back four, I know. Look, Cresswell come in yesterday for Emerson, who had the 1 match suspension. Cresswell obviously hasn't played a lot of football this season, so I can't criticise him that much. I didn't think he done too bad. Few under-hit passes, but that comes with match fitness. He's just coming back from an injury, and he hasn't played. Even when he has been fit, he hasn't played that much. But Zuma and Aguerd, once again, Aguerd, lightweight, getting knocked off the ball, bullied by Calvert-Lewin. Now, Calvert-Lewin loves coming to the London Stadium. He loves playing against West Ham. And yeah, you just can't allow players like Calvert-Lewin the time and the freedom that he was getting. You know, when I looked at Everton yesterday, the way they set up exactly like how we've been setting up. You know, sit back, invite the team on, and then hope to hit them on the counter-attack, nick the goal, and see out the win. And they done it. They got their game plan spot on. And the difference between us and them is they've got a striker. They've got a Calvert-Lewin. Bit like Aston Villa have got an Ollie Watkins, and Newcastle have got a Callum Wilson. You know, that's what happens when you have a natural striker, and that is one thing we are lacking at the football club. And I know we've done some great business in the transfer window, but a striker should have been top of that list. Danny Ings doesn't offer anything. And I don't want to criticise him too much because we're not playing to his strengths. He's He's not a lone striker. You know, we brought him on in the 85th minute for Aaron Creswell, you know, to try to force a draw. He come on, he done nothing. He had his chance in Europe the other night. Nothing. How many more times are we going to try to give Danny Ings a chance to prove himself when you've got a young, hungry Mubama waiting to come on, who's the future of this football club? You know, David Moyes, you know, you've got to start giving him a run, giving him a chance. What's the point of bringing on Danny Ings with 5 minutes ago? We know what he can do. Well, we know what he can't do, but give Mubama a chance. You know, Ben Rama coming on for Antonio. Look, Ben Rama, one of them players. Last season when he was on the bench, he come on, he had something to prove. This season, he looks like he's coming on, and he's just coming on and thinking, well, I'm not going to start next week, so what's the point? You know, he had one great chance, great strike, good save by Pickford, but yeah, there's a lot of disappointing performances yesterday. You know, and I know that David Moyes got a lot of criticism on Twitter, but let's not criticise him for the team selection because he's done what we wanted. Calvert-Lewin, great finish. Antonio lost the ball looking for a free kick. Should have been stronger. Falls to Calvert-Lewin. And look, great finish. Areola, could he have done a bit better? That's down to him to tell us. I don't know. I'm not a goalkeeper. It looked like, for me, it was a great turn from Calvert-Lewin and a great strike into the bottom corner. And he's earned Everton all 3 points. Whether it was a good performance from them, their fans don't care. Sean Dyche don't care. 3 points is all that matters for them. And they've got it. But for me, the only positive from yesterday was Kudus. I know that some people are going to say, yeah, but have you seen the stats? He lost the ball 8 times during the game. Listen, the only positive I take from that was at least he was trying. At least he was looking for the ball. At least he was willing to get the ball and try to take people on because everything else he had around him wasn't working. Bowen, three decent chances, especially in the first half. You know, couple of chances, the diving header in the back post in the second half. You know, Bowen earlier in the season is finishing at least one of them chances, but now he's out of form. Paquetá is out of form. Paquetá, for me, needs to go number 10. He needs to play that number 10 role. That is his best position. You know, out on the left, yeah, sometimes he has joy out there, more when he's got Emerson overlapping him and they've got a good relationship. But Kudus, for me, as I said, he can play anywhere across. He can play the right, he can play left, he can play number 10, and I believe he can play up front as well. So for me, going forward, you know, look, Alvarez and Paquetá, they're both going to be banned for the Brentford game now. So David Moyes now has got to work out a way to get other players that are out of form into this team to try to get a result at Brentford. But before that, we've got Arsenal. But I'll go on about that later. But Kudus, for me, was the only shining star yesterday. I was impressed with him. I thought, as I said, he might have lost the ball 8 times, but he was willing. He was happy. He was trying to take people on, trying to create, playing the little 1-2s, you know. So I think that once we get that balance right, Kudus is going to be a shining star for us this season. And once he finds that bit of form, you know, he's going to start every game. And we need him, we need Paquetá, and we need Bowen back on fire because Antonio is out of form. He needs a goal. He hasn't scored since August, you know. So look, but Branthwaite and Tarkowski, I thought, done well for Everton yesterday at the back. Dealt with Antonio, bullied him, knocked him off the ball. You know, Antonio looking for free kicks. He's getting barged off the ball. You know, I thought Branthwaite was man of the match yesterday. I thought he done really well for Everton. But Decore had a chance to put Everton 2-0 up. Great save from Areola. But once again, where was the defence? You know, Zuma going to win the ball, clashing with his own player. And it leaves Decore free. And it was lucky that Areola pulled off the save because it would have been a lot worse, 2-0 down and, yeah, game dead and buried. But no, I wasn't impressed. Apart from Kudus yesterday, wasn't impressed with anyone. You know, we have to find a bit of form because when I look at the league table, we're sitting 9th. We've had a bad run. We've won 1 in our last 5, but we're still 9th. We need now, we've run a Premier League games we've got coming up. We've got Brentford, I think we've got Fulham, Forest, Burnley. We need to start picking up points quick. But before you know it, the teams below us will start picking up points and we will find ourselves, a bit like last season, Groundhog Day, back down in the wrong end of the table. And the way we started this season and the squad we've got, whether David Moyes is the man to take this team forward, look, that's for the board to decide. They've got to make that decision. But he's here now. So it's what we're stuck with. We ain't going to make that decision. A bad run of form, and David Moyes, I think, with Tim Stein on board now, I think that they won't make that. They won't leave it like last season. I think they'll make that decision a lot sooner. So for David Moyes' sake, for him to still be a Premier League manager and still managing West Ham, he needs to find that run of form. But yeah, Kudus, only positive for me. So yeah, not a great weekend. As I said, 3 defeats in a week has undone all that good work at the start of the season. So look, let's hope that we can find a bit of form. But look, as you know, this is that was the weekend show. So let's have a quick look at the Premier League results this weekend. Well, yeah, that's funny. Just when you think things couldn't get any worse, Spurs continue their unbeaten form that put them top of the league. 2-1 win over London rivals Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. An own goal from Ward and a second not long after from Son put them 2-0 up. Jordan Ayew did get a consolation goal. Great finish from Ayew. VAR did look at it for handball. But now look, another win for Spurs, still unbeaten. Postecoglou's got it right. He's playing the right way, right brand of football. And yeah, Spurs top of the league. Moving on to Saturday's action. This puts a little bit of smile back on my face. Chelsea 0, Brentford 2. Brentford winning at Stamford Bridge for the 3rd season in a row now. Pinnock and a late goal from Mbamo sealed a 2-0 win. But it goes from bad to worse for Pochettino. Just when you think that they might have turned a corner, it's just another defeat. And and at least we've got the excuse of, we've got to play Thursday, Sunday. We've got European football distractions. Chelsea have spent so much money, but they just can't find that form. And I think they've won there twice since February or something like that at Stamford Bridge. It's a ridiculous record, and it's something that Chelsea fans are not used to. So yeah, Pochettino struggling, and look, the way Chelsea work, more under Roman Abramovich, not so much their new owner, but Pochettino, a couple more defeats, and yeah, he could be out of a job. But great win for Brentford, who have started the season not as well as they wanted to, but it's a great win against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Moving on, Arsenal, another unbeaten team, 5-0 victory at home to Sheffield United. Sheffield United have got 1 point, bottom of the league, and you can see why they're down there. Eddie Nketiah, hat-trick, Vieira and Tomiyasu with the goals. And yeah, great victory for Arsenal. Bit of a training session, gets their goal difference up. So yeah, great victory for Arsenal. And Eddie Nketiah, who's had his critics, that will do him the world of good. And who knows, maybe he could be the striker that Arsenal have been waiting for a long time to find a replacement for the likes of Thierry Henry, and they've obviously got Gabriel Jesus in. They had a Aubameyang, so maybe Nketiah is the answer. But look, it is against Sheffield United, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves there. Next up, down to the South Coast, great victory for Bournemouth. They needed this. They found themselves 1-0 down though against Burnley. Charlie Taylor with a great strike from about 20 yards out. Half volley, outside the box. Keeper, no chance. Great finish. But then, not long after, Semio, I think that's how you say it. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. but he gets the equaliser for Bournemouth. And then in the 76th minute, Billing with a great finish, goalkeeper off his line. He's scrambling back. Billing has looked up, seen him off his line. Great finish, great goal, and a much needed victory for Bournemouth. Next up, Saturday night football, 5:30 kickoff at Molineux. Wolves 2, Newcastle 2. Callum Wilson put Newcastle 1-0 up. Wolves wanted a foul on the goalkeeper. Look, dodgy goalkeeping. He's come out to try to claim it. Goalkeepers are too protected these days, so fair play to the referee for not giving this. It was never a foul. Callum Wilson there to tap it in. Wolves equalised. Pedro Neto with another assist from a corner and Lamina finishing it off. Wolves 1-1. And then probably one of the biggest talking points of the weekend was the penalty for Newcastle. For me, very harsh. Didn't think it was a penalty. VAR have looked at it. They've decided that it's a penalty. Don't know how, but they've given it. And Callum Wilson, goalkeeper, nearly saves it. But Callum Wilson, another goal. And Newcastle 2-1 up. And then Wolves found themselves getting back into the game in the 71st minute. He-Chan with a great goal. Great finish, great bit of footwork inside the box. And probably a fair result. I'd say it's a fair result to draw. Newcastle, lucky to get the penalty, but they continue their great start to the season. Next up, Aston Villa at home to Luton. And Aston Villa just continue their great run of form. I think that 3-1 victory at home to Luton, I think that they average 3 or more plus goals in every game this season at home in the Premier League, which is, if you're a season ticket holder or a paying punter going to Villa, you're getting your money's worth. I see them stick 4 past my team last week. So, John McGinn opened the scoring for Villa. Moussa Diaby just after half-time with a great finish inside the box, great left foot volley. And then an own goal. Once again, great work from Diaby. Forced the own goal. Villa 3-0 up. Luton did get a consolation goal for their travelling fans. An own goal from Martinez. The Aston Villa defender, don't know what he's doing. He must have been watching the Ian Dowie School of Excellence. Headering it back, come off the crossbar, off the back of Martinez's nut. And Martinez won't want to see that again. But look, another great victory for Aston Villa. And they're, as I said, another team. Great start to the season for them. Next up, we go down to the South Coast. Brighton took on Fulham at the Amex Stadium. Brighton having their chances early on, but Ferguson put on 1-0 up. Great finish. Fulham, second half, Paulinho with a great strike from outside the box, getting Fulham a great point. Probably deserved, great point on the road for Fulham. And Brighton have had a mixed start to the season. They had a great victory in Europe during the week. But moving up, now we go back up north to Liverpool. 3-0 victory, standard win at Anfield for Liverpool. Nottingham Forest didn't really offer much. Diego Jota opening the scoring for Liverpool in the 31st minute. As you see from his celebration, holding up the Luiz jersey. Obviously, we all know what's going on with Luiz. So, thoughts go out to him. It's a difficult time for him. Family comes first. Football comes second. Next up, 35th minute, Darwin Núñez, the sun-tanned Andy Carroll with a great finish. And Newcastle, not Newcastle, forgive me, Liverpool fans. Liverpool, just look like this could have been 4 or 5. Mo Salah with gets another goal and standard 3-0 victory for Liverpool. And then to round up the weekend, the Manchester derby, Man United 0, Man City 3. Man United was never in this game. Half chance. If it wasn't for Onana, this could have been another high-scoring victory at Old Trafford for Man City. Could have been 6, could have been 7. You know, Haaland could have had 4. You know, he did open the scoring from a penalty. VAR looked at it. It was a penalty. Don't know why the player, Højbjerg's holding him back. But you're never going to get away with that, especially with VAR. 10 years ago, you might have got away with that, but not today. Haaland taps it home. And then just after half-time, Haaland, you know, before that, he had a few chances. Onana pulled off some great saves. But header back post, you know, put some 2-0 up. And then Phil Foden, late on, an assist from Haaland. Could have gone for the hat-trick, but he squared it to Foden. Foden's there to tap home. And, yeah, Man City get the victory. And Ten Hag, you know, feeling the pressure. Another manager that's under pressure. And, yeah, we don't know. Look, you know, forget it. I've had enough of the Premier League this weekend. When West Ham lose, it does me nutting. But look, that was the Premier League results. That was match day 10. Moving on, let's have a quick look at the league table. As you can see there, Tottenham in first, still unbeaten, closely followed by Arsenal and Manchester City. Liverpool complete the top 4. Villa in 5th. As you can see, Manchester United down there in 8th. West Ham 9th. Brentford up for 10th. Chelsea dropped to 11th. And yeah, you can see the rest of the table. You don't need me to tell you what the table is. You probably look at it all the time anyway. As for the scoring charts, Erling Haaland, after a couple of quiet weeks, he's starting to find that little bit of form. 2 goals in the Manchester derby puts him on for 11th for the season. Closely followed by Mo Salah and Son, 3 goals behind him on 8th. Callum Wilson on 7th. And to be fair, if Jarrod Bowen would have took his chances, he could be closing in on Haaland. But yeah, let's have a look at the assists. Pedro Neto with another assist. He did go off with a hamstring injury, which is worrying for Wolves. He could be missing for a few weeks. So yeah, as you can see there's the assist chart. Let's have a look at the goalkeepers. Sam Johnston, clean sheets on 4, joint with Nick Pope, David Raya and Edison and Vicario. Sorry, just went blank then on 4. So yeah, that's the charts. Let's have a look at match day 11 on Saturday. Fulham play Manchester United in a 12:30 kickoff. Brentford versus West Ham, massive game for West Ham. That we need to get back to winning ways. Burnley versus Palace, Everton take on Brighton, Man City versus Bournemouth, Sheffield United entertain Wolves, and in the late game, got the potential to be a good game, that Newcastle versus Arsenal. And then on Sunday, 2 games, Nottingham Forest play Aston Villa, and then Luton play Liverpool. And then on Monday, London derby for Spurs as they take on Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, that's it for that was the weekend. I can't take any positives. Well, I can because Kudus, that's the title. But yeah, West Ham, busy week coming up. League Cup action against Arsenal at the London Stadium. A win against them, huge confidence booster going into the weekend against Brentford. And yeah, we need to get back to winning ways. As I said at the beginning of the show, players are letting Moyes down. Moyes is probably letting some of the players down. You know, it's starting, there's a lot of negativity starting to creep back into the fan base. Look, the London Stadium was flat yesterday. It was poor, one of the worst. I don't know whether it was an early kickoff on a Sunday. But yeah, it wasn't great over there. So, but then again, some of the football we're seeing, I don't blame them. But yeah, look, I'm going to leave that there. As I always try to do, I try to, when I go through bad times, I always try to think back on positive times so that weekend's done. I'm going to try to remember the good times. So come on, you Irons.